Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners meeting August 22nd, 2023 for 6 p.m. Call this meeting to order. If you will, please silence your cell phones and any other electronic device that you may have. Please stand for the invocation given by Mr. Bill Gregory and continue standing for the pledge to the flag.
Let us pray, please. Father, we just come to you just at this evening, Lord, just thanking you for all the blessings you bestowed on us, Lord, for all the blessings you bestowed on Meriwether County. And it's my prayer this evening, Lord, that you would just bless the county commissioners, Lord, and give them wisdom and discernment as they deliberate the business of Meriwether County this evening. Just forgive us where we failed. In Christ's name, I pray. Amen.
I pray that we live the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Next item is to adopt the agenda. We do have a couple of additions that we need to place on the agenda. Directly up under finance report, we are going to add department heads. This is something that we used to have up until the point of COVID, and we removed that, but we are going to start bringing that back before the board. So if you'll add department heads under finance report and also under new business, item number 5, state road and tollway. Yes. Anything else? Purchase of item number 6 under new business, discuss purchase of vehicle. Anything else? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? So moved. Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Next item is presentations. We don't have any presentations, but we do have something from the Warm Springs Medical Center. And they have sent out an announcement to show their sincere appreciation for all that you do on a daily basis. We will honor our first responders and public service workers by hosting lunch on the lawn Friday, September the 8th, 2023 from 11 a.m. to 1. And that is on the front lawn of the hospital campus. And they asked that we announce that. All right. Next item is finance report.
Board, you've got the report in front of you. You will notice that the general fund has reduced drastically over the past couple of months, but no need to panic. You notice down about halfway down under general local government investment pool, we've got 5.1 million. Also, we got 375 in the E119 fund that we'll have to transfer over next by September 30th as well. And in the fire district O&M, we pay the payroll for the fire department through the general fund, and then the fire district O&M reimburses the county for that. So we'll move a substantial amount of that almost 3 million fire district O&M to the general fund for reimbursement for payroll. So we're really in good shape at 9:30 in the general fund. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any commissioners have any questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Bill. Next item are department heads. I think we have a couple here tonight. Chief Danny Stevens from the Fire EMS. If you'll come up and just give us a brief report over your department, please, sir. Where you're at, how many openings you have, things that we're doing, what we're looking at for the fire stations.
Okay. Far as for us, staffing's still a major issue on the fire EMS side. I have 45 total line positions. That's day-to-day operations. I got about 19 of those filled currently. So I got about 26 openings. We currently run around 25 part-time employees. Go back, let's see here. So September the 12th, we'll be starting an EMT class. It'll be over here at the school in our classroom. With that, it's going to be on a volunteer-friendly schedule. I think we have about probably 12 that's going to be in this class. And it'll be taught in the afternoons. So some of our volunteer firefighters or anybody that's interested on a volunteer basis can come in and get into that class as well. We also had 3 members of our department that completed their firefighter 2 class, and they tested out this past Saturday. and all three of those were successful in their attempts to test, so. That's pretty much, that's what I got.
So
Anybody
where
got
are
any
we,
questions?
yeah, where are we at as far as getting all of the new fire stations?
New fire stations, I think we still got Station 5.
But
To
I mean,
construct-
staff. 'Cause
Oh,
we-
staff?
Right. We have an obligation to the citizens of this county, and, you know, when I voted about 3 of them this weekend and they're completely empty, we need to figure out a plan.
You know, $10 an hour, $10.50 an hour,
No, we need to figure out a plan.
you know, so
There's enough, I think, up here that we can staff those buildings during the day,
that's whereas
captains, people like that.
they're working, yeah,
All right.
they're working every day.
But we need somebody in every station every day. So we'll help you figure out a plan. It's just when we have built all these multi-million-dollar buildings and we don't have the individuals in there to staff it, there's an issue, and we're not blaming you. So I'm not bringing you before us to throw you under the bus. I'm saying we've got to figure out a plan to do this, and we're a team together. So whatever we can do, we got to figure it out. It's just not a good situation.
We'll work on that.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Go ahead.
In that respect, you have issued what you need to be able to staff correct the pay rates, the training levels, and the number of positions you need.
I'm sorry,
You have provided what you need to be able to staff to where
Yes.
you want it to be.
I presented that in our budget, yes.
We are gonna have to address, and we've been talking about it, and I know you guys have been talking about it too. Probably a couple of weeks, ago, we probably would have a work session, we talking about it. We got a staffing issue, just like everybody else does. And we've got some ideas, thoughts and throw around of how we might be able to do that. And some other options we might have, but not cost us any money or a little money. It's hard to get in a bidding war with everybody, nobody can win, but there may be other things we do. I think we need to have a serious conversation about that.
And the $10 per hour that you brought up, it's really not $10 per hour. It is a base that looks that way, but when you add the other factors in and the additional hours, it's really not a $10 per hour. So we have to be realistic in that also. It's probably more on the line of 15 to 17 per hour with what they get. No, it is with what they get paid in the benefits scheme.
I mean, with the fringe benefits, I'm sure there's an extra amount there, but we're on the same playing field as every other county. They offer the same fringe benefits. You know, so it's still $10.50 an hour.
It's not.
We have built-in overtime, and what I'd like to see us do with that built-in overtime is equate that into an effective hourly rate. Because when you do that, and if you're gonna get so much overtime every month, I think they need to understand that, where you just say, but I kind of go through that, so I thought Valerie about HR, how we might solve that, because I think that number looks lower than it is, but I haven't run the exact numbers, because of the built-in overtime, it looks lower. And I would hate to see people that are leaving or not coming because they say, this is a pay rate, but actually they're gonna make a big salary.
Well, that's what we need to discuss. I mean, if we got a salary rate at a certain number of hours, and you increase the hours, and your hourly rate does go down. None of us would accept that. So I don't want to sit here and put lipstick on a pig. All these things we need to, do. We don't need to sell them a lipstick pig. We need to sit down and have our meeting and get our county staff where it needs to be and pay whatever the rate takes.
The best way to figure the firefighter salary is you take the hourly amount and multiply that by 30/50 on an annual basis. That gives you what they make if they worked their shift every day, 24 on, 48 off.
Right.
Whereas a regular hourly employee
It's 28.
computes 20/80. We're at 30/50 with that overtime, but those are still hours worked.
That's right.
You know,
It is, but
and it's
but it's still not 10 per hour. We'll get it broken down for all of us and show, but it's really not, even if they work 20/80, it's not 10 per hour, the way that it is given to them over a period each year. So it can look 10.50 all day long, but it's really not until you lay it out as to what they're getting. It's not putting lipstick on a pig. It's just, you have to lay it all out and look at the entire factor.
So if we're saying that, it's already laid out somewhere to get that opinion. Is that accessible for us to be able to see?
Well, it'll have to be, yes,
So can we get it?
we can.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd
I
love to see it.
it'll be pretty simple to do, but I just want it to be an effective rate. And I think that's something
But it
that,
will be simple to do, or we already done it.
no, it's similar.
We're telling him, but berating him is it's already common knowledge that he doesn't know. So
I think we talked about it, then I talked about trying to get a effective route, we'll talk to HR about it. But I may not have, I mean, we've been busy with a lot of stuff. This is part of the other thing we're working on that I'm suggesting we get back and talk about.
Right.
Because, you know, it's not that, not the other, but let's give him all the tools he can.
Right.
And if we're telling somebody you're making this, but really effectively make it more, then we need to know that. And they need to know that because that may be the difference in coming in or not coming in. So I'll go through and show exactly what my thoughts are.
Yeah, I'm glad to have that meeting too, 'cause I've been in business 41 years and y'all just lost me back in the last curve.
It's just calculated.
I understand that benefits and then you got insurance, you got all that stuff, but still, when you got a base pay on internet or on our website or HR, whatever, when you got a base pay. Like he just said, other counties, they got benefits, they got insurance, they got this, but they all show the base pay. If I told a guy that, you know, my base pay is $25 an hour, and he go, well, that guy's base pay is 29. There's $4 difference right there. I don't care what the, you know, so I'd be glad to have that.
What's the hours that you guys, 30?
30-50 on an annual normal rotation.
Okay.
I mean, he said be working, they can get benefits.
Not the same in every county. We've done that study over the past few years, and I'm not trying to say we're not paying where we need to be. We probably do need to increase it, but you also have to look at the entire picture, and it can be broken down, and we can get that. I think we've had it presented. I know Michelle presented it to us once.
Yeah, me and Bill had talked once before, and I don't know, you can correct me, Bill, but this is just a number I'm throwing out there. $2.50 to $3 is about what the benefits are costing.
Where'd you get it there?
$14.60 an hour, 62 cents an hour.
That's the rate including benefit.
That's including
No,
benefits.
that doesn't include it. No, this is if you pay $10 an hour at 30.50, and then you divide it by 2080, which is what.
How many hours is the man or woman working?
24
Physically,
24
spend inside.
24 on 48 hours.
Yeah.
Up to 30-50.
That's the 30-50. That's
They're
the 30,
physically gonna be on duty in our fire stations.
Yeah.
How many hours in a year?
30-50.
30.50.
Divide what, 1050 times that, then that's his hourly rate.
What you take is you take that 30.50, you pay the $10 an hour. Regularly, it wants you to work 2080. So you take that number, you divide it by 2080, that effective rate technically has gone up. What you're actually making has gone up to 14.66. So,
And that's where the lipstick comes in.
Well,
Are they
it's
working 30-50 or working 20-80?
No, they're working the 30-50.
they work.
Why are we even talking about 20?
That's what, when you usually have an hourly rate, that's what you normally work.
Or
40 hours
a week,
employee.
52 hours,
Yeah.
52 weeks a year, that's exactly right. But if we're scheduling them to work 30-50.
Yeah.
They get paid whatever we pay them, that's what it is.
Part
We
of
can
that
change
is-
that and say, well, but it is this number. I agree. Benefits are a package and it's usually about 30% more than it costs us to do it.
Yeah.
That is something we share with people when you're on retirement money, vacation, insurance, and those things that can draw certain candidates in. Certain candidates it won't. And if 1050 won't draw a candidate in, telling him he's only going, effectively it's 2080, but I know he's gonna work 30-50, so you really make it 14, but you're gonna work hours and get paid 10.
Yeah, and you also are not, hopefully not mixing all those out.
Right.
Hopefully you're gonna be sleeping there, resting some.
Can't pay bills on hold.
I know,
Well, let me,
I'm just saying, that's gonna be more the normal.
and what I was saying was, as far as the package, when you take in that 30%, and this is not just what they earn, this is still coming out of the county tax money. We're paying that additional 30% to each person. That's an additional $3 to $3.50 per hour. And so you look at the 10.50 per hour, now you're at $13.50 to $14 per hour, really and truly is what that individual is making. Because they're not having to pay that insurance. They're not having to, we're putting into a retirement for them. So you take all that and calculate it, and they're really making that $14.50 per hour. They're not making the $10.50 per hour because we're still putting that amount of money into each one of those employees.
All right, but our base pay is 10.50 and we're doing all, what you said makes sense. I understand that. But the next county over there, the base pay is 14.25 and they're doing the same thing.
They're not doing the exact same thing.
They're not getting benefits.
They are, but not what we're doing. And we've had that study. Right. Yeah, and I'm not arguing the fact, I'm saying we've got to figure this out.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's
And
what's
how
gonna
about
lead-
And whatever it takes to get it there, we've got to do it.
And I think
But I think
It's
if you
not-
tell somebody you're making 1450, you should
Right.
just say you're making 1450, not 1050, but it's really 1450. That's something.
Right, because when I questioned tonight what we're gonna do, and somebody asked what the rate is, well, anybody can say 1050. So the reason I came in on the back end and said that is, that's really not accurate as to, it is what they make per hour. But when you take what what we're actually paying into that each individual employee, it's about 1450 per hour. They just don't get to get the additional overtime on that 1450 per hour.
But I agree that we need to adjust.
Yes, we
That's
do.
why we need to put all these things together, right, come up with a plan, not only for them, but, you know, public works, fire.
Right.
EMS,
I've been saying that.
everybody, yeah.
One question, you say you're having the EMT classes? Is that gonna be in the paper?
No, but we share it with the agencies and things like that, because we want them to be either a member of our department or a member from another department.
Okay,
Because there's insurance and HIPAA and all that type stuff we have to make sure is in place. And they have to provide that to us in that EMT class.
How long does that class take?
Oh, it'll probably finish around January. Yeah, so it'll follow a shift basis. So Monday would be a shift, off Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, it'd be Monday evening, Thursday evening, and then would be on that weekend. It'd follow that same shift the next week, maybe 2 days, and then maybe 1 day, and then a Saturday out of the month, one Saturday out of the month. So it'll go through that shift-based rotation of on 24, off 48, and it'll be in the evenings. With it being in the evenings, it takes a little bit longer because you can only do about four hours of instruction for somebody in the afternoon from 6 to 10 or something like that. But once that is, once they meet the requirements, then they'll be able to test for national registry. So, and this is the basic EMT program. So there's 2 more levels. You have the advanced and then the paramedic. So, and we're looking at going into an advanced class after that. Doing that. We can't do the paramedic. We're not set up for that. So, you have to really have a college or something to sponsor you and, you know, meet different qualifications and certifications to be able to do the paramedic class. So.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any other questions? Thank you, Dan. Mr. Barry,
Yes, sir.
tell us what you got going on.
Right now I have 26 employees. I'm short 9. I have 2 that's gonna be retiring in September. So that leaves me very short on help.
What do those 2 individuals do?
One of them's a laborer and the other one is equipment 1 operator.
Do we have any applications, any
I
interviews?
do, I don't have really, I have applications with equipment operators on them, but some of them aren't experienced. That's what they put on the application to get more money.
Gotcha.
And once I interview a lot of them, they have no equipment experience. So I don't really have any decent equipment operators applications. Got a lot of labor ones. But once I tell them what they're gonna be making, they're not interested.
What do they start out?
They start out at $14 an hour. And they're not gonna work out 8 hours out in 93+ degree heat. You know, they just refuse to when they go to McDonald's and make
they make
15.
the 16, 17.
Exactly, even though I tell them the benefits and what they have and the longevity of the job and retirement. You know, if they're young, they're not interested. Older people seem to be more interested with a family, with the insurance and benefits.
Before I write this down, is there a 20, 80, 30, 50, some other number?
No.
It's not.
No, no, we just 8 hours plus overtime.
All right. So during this work session that we're talking about having, we do have some other ideas that are coming up for all departments. So
Right.
maybe we can help y'all at least be able to recruit and retain. So that's kind of why I wanted to base is where we are today with different departments that we know are having more issues with employees. Or open positions than any other area, and it's not any fault to the director. as to the fault of the job itself.
Correct.
So we are going to set a work session, and Darren and I have talked, and we'll be talking to the rest of the board tonight as well in executive session about some ideas that we have to come up to help you guys hopefully get to where we need to be.
And I think the scaling method Bill and I, Aaron had talked about is having something written in stone where we can know, because it's different with each individual and you need some type of standard. You know, if you're just a laborer, you're gonna get this. If you're a laborer with CDLs, this is what you'll make. If you're equipment operator and so forth, and then give the merit raises each year as it goes, and that'll standardize things where you'll know exactly what to pay them, and they'll know what they're gonna be making as the year comes to an end. So that encourages them to say, well, if you stay here two more years, you're gonna be making $1.50 more. Oh, well, I can do that, and that'll give them a longevity on to stay at the job.
Right.
And we don't have that now, so,
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
yeah.
No question, but even to all the department heads that are sitting here, this whole board, we are really, our focus is to figure out how we're going to get the money, get the pay up, and get people in Meriwether County and all our departments that can get things done in this county and want to work in this county and make a difference in this county. And we all know it takes y'all's leadership and us trying to find out in this budget coming up how we're going to get the pay up there and get quality help.
Absolutely.
And that's our goal, I promise.
I mean, I've got one experienced pipe crew. I got another pipe crew that's learning. I've got 2 experienced motor grade operators, 2 that's learning. I've got a bush hog crew with experienced operators on it. But then once you get into vacation time and then you get into rain time and things of that nature, plus these 8 grass areas that need cutting, it just spreads everybody thin.
And as far as equipment, your department's pretty okay with equipment though. I mean, it's nothing that you just need to have, because if you don't have certain people to run certain equipment, right now you're okay with.
As of right now, yeah. But if I had more people, I could get more things.
Right. Because fire and EMS, we know that's always
Right.
a need for more equipment.
Right.
But so on that question though, if you had more people, do you need more equipment?
Well, we bought 2 new graders, last year, the year before?
Right.
I think we
So
turned
a total of 4.
Well, they only have 3.
We've got 3, 1 old, 2 new.
Right. So we have 3.
Thing is,
So if we hire enough people, you're fully staffed, you've got enough equipment to man, keep those people busy.
On and off, depending on the weather. You know, when the weather's bad, I send my bush hog crew to cut up limbs that the tornadoes is took down. You know, I've still got some of that, about 20% debris on the shoulders. I know everybody calls about that, but I can't stop my regular duties to clean that up. So in the wintertime, fall, when it's raining, I can get out there and clean that up. That's my plan, is to get these roads going while the weather's great, because you don't have but so long to do that. And the same way with the bush hogging. I've got to get around this county at least 2 times or the grass is going to be waist high. So that's my focus right now, and keeping all of these buildings cut. But, and then I've got a patcher truck. If I had 2 operators on that, I called a former employee that used to run it. He said he wanted to come back, but he hadn't returned my call.
That's where you're really short-handed with patching.
Yes.
It doesn't have a full-time patching crew. He's having to use right-of-way crews.
Because we just bought that new equipment not too many years ago, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
The
So,
machine y'all just got,
That
the
Sir?
machine y'all got before I even came on board that cleans the ditches out, what's it called?
yeah, great all.
I mean, y'all may be using, but I haven't been on any dirt road yet where I've seen like, you look and go, wow, these ditches are all pretty and cleaned out. So we're not running that machine.
Well, the guy that ran it just quit last week.
Okay.
And plus I need a dump truck to follow him out there. And I got 1 tandem running. I got 2 box dumps, but they pull in my equipment. Got 1 that's broke down in the shop. So that just gives you 1 dump truck. I can't have a tandem sitting out there waiting for him to load when I got rock to haul to the dirt roads. So I got to put the rock on the road rather than him sitting out there waiting him to clean the ditch out. If I can put it on.
Right away, couldn't he clean, isn't that arm going to clean the ditch out?
He put it on the back.
Then have a skid steer or something come through and just dress it up and not have to put it on the.
That's right, but I need a skid steer operator though, they're out there putting in pipes. So you gotta prioritize what you got to do daily. I can't plan my week. I have to prioritize because something emergency may come in the day I've got something else to do, so I have to stop that, postpone it. It's
I understand that, but until we get those ditches cut out, right, we can't get the roads fixed at all.
Yeah.
Just grade them and the ditch still being like that.
yeah.
We're not getting it.
Well, one of the things quickly is, you know, you could get someone in and lead time on getting equipment in is long.
That's what I was wanting to know, I mean.
And so it's better to have the equipment here and work to try to get somebody. And I think you guys have noted in the budget that you're asking for some upgrade.
But if we could get, but my basic summary of my question is, if I hired 9 people tomorrow for you, you can put them all to work on something.
Doing something.
That's what we've got work.
Yeah.
Make it.
Now, does the county take care of all their bush hogging
The county roads, yes,
County roads.
not dirt roads, paved roads,
on favor?
yes,
And not state.
yep.
Has it ever been done in the past? I know, my family's county down in Florida. They still contract so many miles.
Yeah.
People can come in and go, they'll take this area and they'll take this area and they'll take this area and they just pay. He's the commissioner, they just pay them to keep the roads mowed twice a year or whatever, and that's less we would have. to
You
do.
guys put that,
Very expensive.
it's very expensive. We have a county that did it one time and at the end of the day, they didn't get it all cut. And there are people that had to come in and turn around and cut it. Because the contractors couldn't get to it. So it was a fiasco.
I did it out years ago, county north of here, it's probably been 8 years, it was almost $500. Contracted out, that's with the Loving Group that does most of the deal with work. Then I'm sure it's more than that now. But the county crew, the mowing right, they do a really good job, and they work hard at getting around.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But I was just thinking.
Yeah.
So for sure don't help, they could be doing something else.
Well, I'll tell you, Barry,
Passion or whatever.
I actually mentioned to Darren last week or the week before, we have a contract with the Harris County, prison system. And we utilize several of those inmates in the county. I think a lot of times they pick up trash. Yeah, that helps, but if we could utilize them, and I know they may tear up equipment and things like that, but if we could utilize them for just mowing the grass around our county buildings, that would take that much more off of you and your staff, so that y'all didn't have to go to these areas and weed eat and keep the grass looking, because we have them all over the county.
Yeah.
So it's something that I do want to look into with the prison system there, to see, because it may be beneficial to do that since we already have that contract with them. And then they can pick up trash on the rainy days or whatever they allow it. I don't know if they even allow them to get out on the rain, but if we can utilize them with some equipment to get the county buildings grass cut, then that would help free up some of your people.
Sounds good.
So we are thinking, we just don't know.
I know.
What to do.
We do have a couple of contracts we did out for grass cutting. That turned out really, really good. We got some really good prices on that. That's it. We'll what it, we do it at Lake Meriwether.
Meriwether and Industrial Park.
Yeah.
Airport.
I can't imagine costing $500 a mile though, when I got quick, I can cover some miles quick with a bush hog and a bat wing. I just can't see somebody having to get the fate.
They want the wear and tear and the possibility of wear and tear plus the diesel.
Yeah, insurance is probably.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because they have to have reliability insurance because we're hiring them. Nothing's cheap anymore. Any other commission? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, next item is citizen comment. Speakers must contact the county clerk at bthomas@meriwethercountyga.gov or 706-672-3462 on or before the dates and times listed below in order to be placed on the agenda to speak. Speakers must provide their name, address, and topic they wish to discuss. For the second Wednesday of the month, 9 a.m. meeting, speakers will or must email or call before 5 p.m. of the day before the scheduled meeting. For the fourth Tuesday of the month, 6 p.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting. Speakers must direct their remarks to the board and not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern or personal attacks will not be tolerated. Speakers will be allotted 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topic as they relate to matters pertinent to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the Board of Commissioners votes to suspend this rule. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
We do have Mr. Thrower and also Mr. Michael Robertson.
Mr. Thrower, if you'll come up. Not here.
No, I don't see him. So,
Okay. We'll move to the next one, Mr. Michael Robertson. You'll come up, state your name and address, please, sir.
My name is Michael Robertson. Address 35 Dolly Harris Road, Sonoya, Georgia, 30276.
It'll probably pull.
Do I need to sign anything?
It'll probably pull.
To put it- Okay.
What was that address?
35 Dolly Harris Road, 30276, Sonoya, Georgia.
I'll never see you.
Come again?
I said, that's the lady that lives there with her son. That's right next to my farm. I've never seen y'all over there.
Yeah, what do you mean? What time are you looking?
Talking about Dolly Harris Road off of Sullivan Mills.
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. That's where my farm's at, and
Okay, and vice versa. I don't never.
that's the address you're using, but that's not where you live.
No, that's where I'm residing. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, thank you. Last time I came, we spoke about our program that we have, Mars, for the SAT, ACT program. And then I spoke with the board, not Board of Commissioners, at the high school education, Board of Education. And when I spoke with Dr. Griffin and the members, I wanted to get back with them. And after they got back with me stating that they're on board, waiting to hear back if the county commissioners would be on board with the program.
Because we don't speak during the time.
Right, I got you.
I will make an exception to this if the board's okay with me speaking, and then, is that okay with y'all?
Sure.
Michael, I do understand where you're coming from and what you're asking for. You presented this multiple times to us. However, I do not think that this falls up under the category of the governing authority.
Mhm.
I think it falls more under education.
Mhm.
So I don't think that we would really be able to match or to contribute to that because it does not, we do not have the educational guidelines in which we would be able to make a decision in order to provide money for this type of thing.
Okay.
All of that would have to fall up under the Board of Education and not the governing authority.
All right.
So I think it would be best if they agree to it, that they pay for it. I don't think that we could actually do that.
Okay. There is a program, summer program that you guys do that y'all give for education for kids over there at Unity. With that
For
fine,
children, but not for the SATs and ACTs and things like that. All of that falls up under education, as far as the Board of Education is concerned. And those are actual tests that are taken by high school students. In
Right,
order to
correct.
Move on to a secondary education if that's what they desire.
correct.
What we do is to give to a summer program to help kids throughout the community. It's really not educational. It is to a point, but not to the level that what you are requesting. So therefore, I still think that it would fall best under the Board of Education to request it from them.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, thank
Yes, sir.
you.
Some of those fees, those programs, summer are also the drug writers too, which are restricted. Right.
All right. Anybody else signed up to speak?
yes.
All right. Next item is minutes. Item number 1, August 9th, 2023, 9 a.m. regular meeting. If you all have had time to read those, do I have a motion to accept? Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. That's right. Item number 2, August 11th, 2023, 10 a.m. special call meeting. If you all have had time to read those, do I have a motion to accept? So have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item is public hearing. Item number 1, 2023, millage rate and tax digest. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing for item number 1, 2023, millage rate and tax digest?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. We are in public hearing at 6:35.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, appreciate you guys going into public hearing on this. As we got this advertised, we were doing some others, that had some issues because part of the report exemption that not been calculated. And so our plan was tonight to have the millage rate discussion. Everybody come up and speak, and then we turn around and sit at the digest rate, roll that rate. I know that's what you guys were going to sit that rollback rate. But as it turned out, we did have some issues with the report. And in order to stay on schedule with this, we have to re-advertise. We sort of already scheduled, we already have an ad for the paper, going to the paper tomorrow, because the numbers changed ever so slightly. And we want to be sure that we have those right. So we're asking you guys to reset another public hearing for August the 30th at 5 p.m. School board's going to hold a hearing the day before. They have to be able to prove their digest back to you guys, and their business rates comes back, and you guys sign all the way to go forward. So we would ask that you guys reset that public hearing. We made it at 5 o'clock that day. I know a lot of the work, so we'll get you guys in, but we'll read it advertise that for August.
Any commissioners have any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. So moved. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We're out of public hearing. Do I have a motion to allow for re-advertisement for public hearing of August 30th at 5 p.m.? Have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Next item, item number 2 under public hearing. Ordinance text amendment to amend the official zoning ordinance by adding to Article 3, Section 3.1, definition of a plat minor. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing for this purpose? So have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are in public hearing at 6:37.
Chairman, Commissioners, on this one as well, we would ask that you guys table this to the next meeting for continue to the next meeting. We've not had an opportunity, Sandra and Michael and I to sit down and work on this language. We got to get that language right. And we just haven't had a chance to do very much last year. So we have that. We would ask you to continue that public hearing, and we'll bring that back to you, hopefully by the next week.
Right. Any commissioners have any questions? Do I have a motion to go out of public hearing? Have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are out of public hearing. Do we have a motion to table this particular item until our next meeting, or continue until our next meeting? Have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Do I need to go into public hearing, or we're gonna table something?
No, that's all we're going to do.
All right. Item number 3, case number 2023-009, request to rezone 17.81 acres on the corner of Todd Road and Highway 27, Roosevelt Highway, from RR to NHC. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing for case number 2023-009? So have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and second. All in favor? We are in public hearing for case number 2023-009 at 6:39.
Good afternoon. You're listening to case number 2023-009, rezoning of 17.81 acres from RR to NHC for the use of an office space and truck parking. Advertisement, signage, and letters have been completed. The property is located at tax parcel 073-011, 10.72 acres, and 073-011-007, 7.09 acres. It's on the corner of Todd Road and Roosevelt Highway, aka 27. Mr. Crawford is asking to rezone the above mentioned parcels from rural reserve to neighborhood commercial. The staff has reviewed the application, the area, the usage, and the recommendations from the planning board are as followed. All completed applications been sent in complete. The applicant would have to get approval from GDOT for access off Highway, Roosevelt Highway 27, and no trucks would access the property from Todd Road. Office space can be accessed from Todd Road, but office space only. The approved use is for office space and truck parking, which is for 18-wheelers because there's nowhere locally they can park. And most people, subdivisions now are not allowing them to park in subdivisions nor on the side of the roads. Any other use, planning commission said any other use would have to come before the board for approval. There is a little stream wet area and they cannot build or park within the stream area because of stream buffers. And the board of planning commission has recommended approval that they meet all buffer requirements between neighborhood commercial and surrounding properties. There is some residential area to the west of the property, and it would have to meet the buffer between there. The planning commission also recommends that they plant Leland cypress on the property between the Todd Road, facing Todd Road and their church. There's a couple people that have the church there on Todd Road and they don't want to look at the office space. So they recommended, and the people have approved, to put Leland cypress on Todd Road. The applicants are here if there are any questions for them.
Any commissioners have any questions?
Is there hours on this trucks coming and going? Just for truck parking, right?
Just for the truck parking, yes.
And is there a time they can come and go throughout the night, or?
18-wheelers a lot of times don't have set hours because if they're making deliveries and, coming home late at night, they can be parked, pulling in there.
What's the closest residence to this property?
There's
I'm
not,
looking for an aerial map and I don't see it on here.
there's
I
not
thought there'd be- I thought there'd be
anyone.
something here where I can see the property and see who's to the right, to the left. Or am I missing it?
I don't see it either.
I don't have an aerial.
Is there anybody close enough by that if trucks were coming in and out throughout the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, dropping the
No.
freight and so forth, are they gonna start calling and complaining?
This is the property and there's no houses in any of these in the only house that there is.
Down here,
Mhm,
this is on the corner.
mhm.
And is there a buffer between that and the highway? Is there woods or anything, or is it all open?
It's all open. They would put a fence up with security cameras as well.
How many trucks will be parked there?
Actually, since it began, we've had them change it on. We're
Okay.
actually, if I can, it's basically the same thing, but rather than Scott Bowden, Crawford. We're actually probably gonna end up putting our actually yard down there, so it won't be, you're looking at maybe 2 tractor trailers and 3 straight trucks, about all you're gonna be seeing. And their hours will be pretty much from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Won't be anything during the
Now,
night.
when you say you might put your yard down there. Or just parking,
Yes,
in other words, it wouldn't turn into where. Like the other places, there's all kinds of activity there, it's just for parking, right?
not well, I mean, it'll be crews coming in and out. Our workers will be in the morning. If we go that route, and probably have a small office trailer on site. And as of right now, they've got it set up where we're back to be coming off 27 Roosevelt Highway. Which there are really no residents close by, but it's all cut over timber right now.
So there, if it comes off a high, state high, you're talking about state highway.
US 27 out
Is
here,
there, is there
it's already an existing entrance in there.
entrance in and out on that property there? So
Yep. I don't know what was over there, to tell you the truth about it, but it's pretty much a commercial entrance in there already. Okay. Which one? That's mine right here.
Just saying.
Thank you.
Just saying. Any commissioners have any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of?
Need to see if anybody's opposed.
Is there anyone opposed that would like to speak? Hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing? So I have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries, we are out of public hearing at 6:45. What is the pleasure of the board? Well,
All right.
But I'd make a recommendation that we approve for the, resigning from the RR to the NHC.
Is that with the 6 written conditions in the staff report plus the condition that Leland Cypress be planted?
With the recommendations.
have a motion, do we have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carried. Thank you. Next item, public hearing, item number 4, case number 2023-013. Request for alcohol sales and consumption, Cowboy Town 4776 Nebula Road. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing for case number 2023-013? Have a motion, do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. We are in public hearing at 6:46 for case number 2023-013.
This case is a request for alcohol sales and consumption, locations 4776 Nebula Road, now known as Cowboy Town, formerly Meriwether Steakhouse. Tax ID is 112-036-001. Mr. White is the owner and is requesting the approval of his application for the new alcoholic beverage establishment for the former location known as Meriwether Steakhouse, now known as Cowboy Town. The application has been processed and all required paperwork has been received. Background checks were done, and Mr. Larry White, property owner, and Ms. Julie Parks, property manager, both passed without any concerns. Letters, newspaper ads, signage was all completed. Recommendation from staff would be to approve the application for on-site sales of alcohol and consumption at Cowboy Town.
Commissioners have any questions? Statements?
The applicant is here along with property manager and their attorney.
If you all have anything you'd like to add, you can step to the podium, state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, Newton Galloway on behalf of Mr. White and Ms. Parks as the applicants. Unless y'all have questions, we have nothing further to add. We appreciate the staff's recommendation and ask for you to approve it.
Any commissioners? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, do I have a motion to come out of public hearing, case number 2023-013? Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. We are out of public hearing. What is the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion, we move forward with approval based on the recommendations of planning committee.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second? Second. Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carried. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
When are you gonna open? When are y'all gonna open?
Well, the plan is mid-September, but we may be as far as October 1st.
We were talking about my motorcycle bother. I keep going, I expect, wait, hurry up and open.
Well, I tell you what, I just opened a place downtown Warren Springs called Frank's, so you can come down there.
Okay.
All right.
I saw that down.
Listen, I look forward to seeing you all there. We plan on doing a lot of good stuff here in your camp.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
We won't object to leave.
Yep. Have a good night. We wouldn't ask you to stay.
Thanks. Well, I'll come back. We learned a lot.
All right, next item is appointments. Item number 1, appointment to Kathy to fill an unexpired term. Do any commissioners have anyone? Hearing none. Did I miss it?
It's on key date.
Oh, that's under new business.
That's what you did. I put it.
Okay. I'm already crazy.
Too.
All right. Do I have a motion to table this?
Motion to table.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? It's tabled. All right, item number 2, appointment to the Airport Authority District 3 to fill an unexpired term.
Motion. Table it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, appointment to the Planning Commission, District 3, fill an unexpired term.
I like to appoint John Funderburg to the planning.
That's in the form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. You get that, David?
John Thunderbird.
You gonna let him know? So you gonna let him know?
Yep.
He's in my district, but he'll do good for us.
No unfinished business. Next item is new business. Item number 1, request from Wargo's Pumpkin Patch to temporarily close Johnson Road beginning September 23rd, 2023 until November 5th, 2023 for times requested.
And what they're requesting, they've done this for several years now, and it just worked out fine. They requested to be able to close it, I think, maybe Friday the 8th of June. Field trips and all of them, and then they wouldn't close it on Saturdays soon. And that, but anyway, it's no problem that we've done it in the past. We out very well. And so we recommended it was Johnson Road, and they were to do this Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 12, and Saturdays 9 to 6, Sunday 1 to 6. And this will be from September 23rd, November.
And like we said, we have done it many, many years with no issues or complaints. So,
yeah, I mean, the road is,
yeah.
I mean, the right there.
Any commissioners have any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to allow? So move. Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carried. Next item, request to increase approved purchase order amounts for department heads and constitutional officers.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, under our code of ordinances, currently the department head's constitutional officer's purchase order limit is $500. I request that we raise it to $1,000 due to the cost of goods and services that have increased. Everything will still come through the finance director to sign off before we pay the invoices.
I know that the county manager has a $5,000 that they can approve. So I thought that actually fell under that if you needed to approve for additional offices.
It just says, I think, that if you department heads have that availability, and it's in the ordinance, I think it says set by the board from time to time. I think right now it's 5.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we just need to take that to 1,000. And that way we'll officially set it from time to time.
So do we have to redo the ordinance? Do we have to advertise or anything?
When we redid the ordinance, we wrote in, took out for specific things and put in tabs to be adjusted periodically by board. So that's something we'll really.
But it will have to come to your department to be signed off
Yes, sir.
prior to the.
Prior to payment.
By who?
Prior to payment, I have to sign off.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions?
I think it needs to be done.
Hearing none, do I have a motion to allow? So move. Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 3, allocation of office space. Mr. Gay?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, some time now, we have been discussing the need for, additional office space to allow us to apply, state information, well, as well as that community. And with pathways having vacated the county owned building here in Greenwood, we now have available space to meet some of our needs. There's been 2 departments that have been sort of forefront of, how's it better? 2 departments have been kind of forefront of the space discussion. One of that is elections. They have such a requirement of maintaining the machinery they have for the election. They have to keep it under lock and key and under camera and under all these things. It takes a lot of space. And of course, the sheriff's administrative office, they've also grown, and we talked about that. So we looked at the available options, and what we would like to do is ask the board to consider allocation of the front buildings at the old pathways location.
Allocation of what?
The front buildings at the old, pathways, building. We'd like to ask for allocation. I've got a gap here, and it shouldn't be notes in here. But it shows it's going. And this is the space that we would like to allocate to elections. And this is the space we'd like to look at allocating for the sheriff's office. We are gonna have to make some revisions here on the entrance here to accommodate clearly the differences. But this would be able to be used for the elections. We probably would take out this wall here. And this wall would make this a big area where she would store all those machines. You have to have, like she was planning on having early voting come in here and reroute it. And then the sheriff, of course, we haven't had a chance to sit and talk with him about all the uses. But he would be looking to do his administration offices there, the patrol offices, everything except the jail people. And that's a lot of space right there as well. So we'd like to ask for, allocation of those spaces. And one of the reasons I'm bringing it tonight is because next year is a big election year for election really. And Patty's going to need to be set up, ready to roll. So she's asked if we could try to work to get that space set up for her first of the year. And that's going to take some rolling to get that done. We'll have to be security for this, wire possibly. The building, I think it's certainly a usable shape because we can move out of it. And there'll be some touch up and a few other things we'll have to do. But if we're going to try to make that schedule, we're going to have to go ahead and move forward with that like very quickly.
Plus, we're spending an additional 1,000 or plus per month for rental, just to be able to house the equipment.
Just to house it.
Mandated by the state.
And that way we can release that. And we got some thoughts on the building that we vacating. I have not had a chance to really talk about that yet, but I'm talking about that too. And I think it worked out real well. Of course, this location also has a third building, which is pretty large, and we look at some possible uses for that. So all of that will be bring back and look probably you guys about, but right now the biggest thing is getting what you're allocated when we get started. As soon as we get the RFPs out and ready to go with the election, we're going to start talking to sheriff.
One of the smartest things to do is utilize buildings we already have in good shape instead of having to spend millions to build others.
Right. All right. But these buildings are of the time frame you have to worry about lots of stuff to do with old.
Have any idea today of the cost of renovating?
Don't really, I don't at this point. What we do is before we ever did it, we bring it back to you guys for approval. And it really need to be something we pay for out of SPLOST or the ARP money, whatever it is where we need to come from. And don't have a real exact cost yet because we're just getting started over it. But we'll try to get that together.
I think the biggest renovation cost is probably going to be, and if we allocate it to the sheriff's office, that side, they have a huge kitchen and other areas that will have to probably be removed, the gas lines and things like that.
Right.
And to set it up for them. But the only thing at that particular office for elections looks like removing a few walls and making it larger to accommodate her equipment.
Right. It may be some additional electrical. I don't know what that's going to be for all the machinery she has, but it's not a lot to be true. Maybe a good coat of paint to freshen everything up. We talked about the floor possibly instead of trying to go back to carpet with an open feet. That's a lot better. That's the way to go. Easy way to go. And so that's probably what we look at in terms of that. And maybe it's easy too. So.
Any commissioners have any questions?
Yeah. And it'll come back to the board if we speak anybody on it.
Right.
Try to get started with that.
Well, do I have a motion to allocate the two reference buildings, one for the sheriff's office, one for the for the elections office, and all to allocate those spaces pending that the money come back for us for a decision as far as the I am losing it tonight. For Moving forward. There you go.
Yeah.
So do I have a, thank you. Motion, do I have a second? Thank you. Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
That was definitive. Thank you. All right, item number 4, discussion of job description and staffing.
To the commissioners, we talked the other day about staff and
I'll pass it there.
and what we have and what we need. And one of the positions was just the county administrator talked about it. And so present that to you guys tonight. And it's staffing. Again, we talked earlier, we got a lot of discussions to do with that, but there's some critical positions that the board will move forward with. This is one of them. And right now, we don't have this position allocated, but I think it is something that the board just felt like we really certainly needed to have seen what we got played. And what is this? I put in a request for address grants, talking about grant writing, manage special projects and programs, assist with reports and mandates by the state of Georgia. Examples of that include the comprehensive plan, working on updates in the county code. We talked about that a few minutes ago. Service delivery, something we have to address all the time, and the big applications management, and just any other related programs that have come up. Also assisting in the preparation of the tax digest calculations between the historical code and anything that the administrator feels like would be necessary would be assistance to me. So,
Any commissioners have any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
Is this at the agreed salary we discussed?
Yeah, well, the offer letter will be. Any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the assistant county administrator position to be created? So moved. Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carried. All right, thank you very much. Item number 5, State Road and Tollway.
yes, commission, we had a grant that we planned on doing. We were trying to replace a old bridge, widen the section of dirt road coming out of the industrial park. Of course, we since understand that the road is right on the line of Drew County, and there may be some opportunities there for some development coming in, make the changes to that road and corrections. In the meantime, we had been awarded a $100,000 grant and a loan of $150,000 for this project. You guys may remember, I tried to get that moved to one location, and while we were initially told, "Oh, yeah, that's a great idea, we think that can work." Ultimately, they come back and said, "No, we can't do that." Now they're asking us to make a determination of whether or not we're going to do this road, and if not, they would write them a letter, releasing the grant. And I don't see this as a priority. This was an $800,000 project to do. And we are doing a portion of that road with some full depth reclamation and paving, but not anywhere near what we're talking about here. And I just don't see that as a real priority for the county. We've got so many other needs. And I would say we go back and try to acquire this grant again at another location. But I don't really need to see the need. I would recommend that we release it from this particular project.
Didn't we already commit to doing another project based on what that we thought we would get this money, and then we didn't? It wasn't allowed to be transferred over.
That's right. We had a project at KB, interest in KB, and they had told us up to that point, "Oh, yeah, we think this is a great idea. This is good. This helps economic development." And then they come back, and I do not know why. And they come back and said, "Well, we stopped." And kind of odd, but anyway, now they're resolved that, and I'd like to go back and again approach them on some stuff. And we need to encourage GDOT and some help with code and free circle once we get through that. What they get through that bridge project, we'll use help with that.
We probably need to set up a meeting in Atlanta like we did previously with another board. It really did help to bring in some additional funds with that meeting.
Right. we could do that. We just started competing with the GI commissioner and our board.
We all went to Atlanta and met at their office, and it really paid off.
Built a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that.
So this money that we were going to, or trying to put to another location, and we can't. Where are we at with that?
Well, what they want us to do is to release it.
Release that,
Release it.
but we thought we were gonna use that.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to still come up with that money to.
They still might come up with that money. And what my part, my
You're
thought would
addressing
be,
that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and my thought would be, we just need to find that money enough somewhere else to replace that. Why you can't use this money, we'll use money we're going to use over here for this. And that trip to Atlanta hopefully will be a good start to do that.
Good.
All right, we'll work on getting that set up.
Do we need to vote to release it tonight?
We need to vote. That way I go ahead and write that letter and get it taken care of.
Any commissioners having any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to release the grant per the request of the state? So moved. Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, next item, discuss purchase of vehicle for public work.
We after we were talking earlier about equipment fees, we had a request to Public Works for a pickup truck. We had actually allocated, I think, $35,000 for that pickup truck, based on what the prices had been. When we started trying to find this truck, there's none available, 150 model, on the Georgia sites where they've been. And you just can't find them. Prices are gone. I've checked other counties and that's the same way. We've been able to find a Dodge, 23 Dodge Ram 1500 Trace with 4x4 crew cab pickup truck for $46,925.75.
What's that price?
Now, we found a 22 one, and it's only about $700 less. I would go back and use it.
What was that amount?
That amount was $46,925.75. And I would request that we, the board approve this up to that dollar amount. And, we had one more look to find certain few. This is about all we find. It's not being in the box. Anyway.
Any commissioners have any
Is
questions?
that a local dealership?
It's, all nation. It's, out in Atlanta.
There's one in Columbus too, in Auto Day.
And you could be, see this goes.
I mean, has anybody talked to negotiate with them to get it at cost?
Yeah, we'll call for it to do. This is the best we could. Yeah.
Pardon?
He was asking if anybody that worked to try to get this.
Are they letting us have it like a lot of dealerships? You can work with them and for what we're needing and hoping to have future business with us. They'll give it to you for like $100 over invoice just to get the foot in it.
I just asked a quote from various Dodge dealers around the area.
But we didn't ask for it.
No.
They got such few inventory right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that.
More quotes is going, or you got more quotes than one. We got three, and one was 2022. We got one from Metro side that was 47. And then we got AutoNation that we're on 47. And then we've been calling for generation. They checked the state bid contract, and they're not taking any orders.
What's the bid length on that one?
It's a standard box, probably 6 foot.
And it's the tradesman is that's the work truck. It's not.
Yeah, we don't.
No, we don't need that.
It has a rubber mat, not carpet and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
It's like the classic. Think it took place of the classic.
See if they can get the roll down windows and the Flintstone starter would be good together.
Yeah. He probably does have some. No, that's what.
All right. Any commissioners have any other questions, Dave?
No, but if I'm allowed to, if you'll get with me, sure, next day or two, whatever, I believe we can save some money.
Can we go ahead and make a motion tonight to approve up to the amount stated of the $46,925.75?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries up to that amount, but we would like cheaper.
Right. Thank you.
Right. Next item on the report is county administrator, but before Mr. Gay gets started, I would like to introduce Mr. Mark Pulliam, who we have hired as our new county administrator. He is currently serving as the City of Manchester City Manager. He has an extensive background. We interviewed him probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I think we decided across the board that he was what we wanted to try to bring and put forth in the county. So if everybody will, welcome Mr. Mark Pulliam. And what is your start date?
I start September 20th.
September 20th?
No, 12.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be your start date.
All right.
So, all right. Well, welcome aboard. We're looking forward to it also. Hopefully we can let Theron retire this time.
I'm looking forward to you coming on, buddy. You wait, you'll get.
And thank you for being here tonight, Mark. All right, Mr. Gay.
Yes, sir. Got a few things to tell you guys about. Ellis Road, Bill Kaufman's worked real hard. We put together a bid package on Ellis Road. Ellis Road is one of those roads that, we talked about, some time ago. And, actually, he mentioned today about doing the ditches and making the road better. Ellis Road is a long road, has a lot of houses on it. And we thought it would be a good starter project for what we talked about, which was recrowning the roads, replacing pipe, graveling it very heavy, compacting it in, and basically restoring the typical section of the road. And this would be a road that then would be much easier to maintain. We're not spraying the mud, we're moving the gravel. And this is what you guys said you'd like to have us put together some proposals on. And once we get this bid back, we'll have a pretty good idea of what that would cost, and we can do other projects as well. This would impact, I think, the most people, most relatives that are there. And so this is what we recommend get started with. And what we'd like to do is just make sure you guys apply with this before we put it out. It's all ready to go. We got one more proof of it to do. We'll be ready to put the papers hopefully next week. But I didn't want to put everybody through the exercise. You guys don't want to skip on that, but this would be the big spot.
I will say that is my district, and that is one of the roads that there's a portion of the road that all the houses are owned, and this does not complete the whole road. It's a, I believe, maybe a mile.
Bill, the distance of the Ellis.
I know it's in the contract. I don't remember.
Yeah, it starts at
Close to 2 miles, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember, but it would stop. I mean, it's not a complete road.
It's all the way through.
Oh, it is all the way through.
That's what I put in the package. You got houses on this end. There's one section that has some timber company, and then the rest of it's all houses. So there's about 38 homes on this entire stretch of road. And then there's 2 side roads off of that I didn't count. And you got a lot of school bus traffic on that road as well. And a lot of new homes are being built on the Primrose side. So it's got a lot of traffic.
Any other commission?
And again, this will come back to you guys for approval, but we just want to go through the process of having the contract bid. But we think it'd be a good project to do. It does impact a lot of housing, more housing, area. And it'll give us a good idea on what we do this, what we're looking at our others, we'll have a good measures here. And then we start fixing other things too. If we can snap our fingers and get all of them go this way, the road this would be substantially less than what it is now.
So you just need approval to put out an RFP.
I should make sure, yes. I don't even need approval. You guys are okay with it, I'll put it out. I just didn't want to send it out, you guys.
And it's gonna be the full depth from the whole road?
It won't be full depth, it'll just be gravel. It'll be a gravel road, we get through there. Very good.
It's basically bidding to improve the dirt road.
That's right.
It's what we did.
Gotcha.
And I believe when we first started talking about it, I'm not even sure if you guys were on the board, but this is one of the roads that we get a lot of, well, it's not district, get a lot of calls on it because of the number of houses and the number of people and the amount of traffic on it.
During the wintertime, it's a call every other day.
This will be substantially cheaper than the full depth track place. There are going to be a gravel road. It'll be, it's gravel road, it's U-pipe, The pipe that's there that's still in good shape, we'll look at those. We will retain those, have to clean them out, we pull the tail ditches. And it'll be restored the typical section.
Compaction equipment, I'm gonna require compaction equipment in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Proof rolls before they put down gravel.
That keeps.
This is what I've been asking for since January, started these roads. Talking about the gravel, would we save any money? Is there any possibility with all the asphalt roads going on in areas? Could we not stockpile millings here or cut a deal and use millings instead of the?
If you can find them, I mean, it used to be you could get them and people were just glad to give it away, and now they're reselling it, reusing it so much. But yes, we could.
We got the machines.
If we could get it.
And reuse it.
We used to have a spiller though, now.
Oh, I use it all the time. I just didn't know if we had like to find out a project that's fixing to start somewhere and get with that person and go, hey, how much per load you bring it, stockpile it, and you know.
We could find that operation going on. We could come back to the board of it.
Building down in towards Manchester, that's where we got all of that last. I agree. Yeah. Everybody else is called, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
They generally stockpile it in the areas of the pavement rather than hauling it. You know.
There was some residents in the area that got some from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it was legal, but they got some.
Yeah.
But now with the ability to reheat that and basically create a patch material that's even market seems greater. But yeah, we'll keep looking for that.
They must be adding something to it, because you're not going to heat it and it become patch.
You have to put an additive with it, which and the additive is real expensive. So you know.
You have my permission to move forward with that.
But you could make
I'm
that.
good with it. Everybody else okay with it?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't make sure
Maybe
that
that show us, when you get that back, how much we afford to pay the motor off.
it's okay. Got to get another boat ready to put it and so forth. Also, I was going to mention concerning staff, and we already talked about that, and we kind of put up a work session with that. Met with elections, of course, the sheriff of space. I've shared that with you guys already. I attended the IDA meeting, attended the budget meeting with VDOT Award of Public Works, participated in personnel interviews, reviewed a couple of different personnel issues that we had to put up. And I met with IDA and a prospect on industrial, and I worked with tax documents. So,
Mark, you hear all that you're going to be doing, now? A lot of attending.
yeah, that's right. And that's really it. I do have you need to. I got one other thing. Sales register. Or I put back and got it. What we got? We received our sales register study. I know that people work very hard on this. This is like I'll bore y'all with it, and I'll tell you, it's a analysis of our digest level, which is supposed to be at 40% versus the sales from last year. So you take 22 sales and compare it to the 40% level. You come up with what's known as overall ratio. But you also have studies there, calculations that indicate the correctness of it, because you can have it, make it look like it's great, but you have all your profit 60% here and 40% here, you still live up to the 40, but it's not happening. So all these things, we did come in at 38 after a lot of work. I think David knows worked quite a bit on that, and we did it at 38, and it looks as if we're okay right now with our COD, coefficient dispersion, and our price related differential, that probably fall within the categories of what the state is. State will measure this. If you fall outside of these categories, they will actually penalize you and they'll see the price. And so glad that we were able to get did that. That does not mean we can just sit still and change it every year. They'll be looking to see it next year. So I did want to let you know any questions afterwards. Call them. And other than that, I got some personnel issues with executive session.
Any other personnel litigation, real estate, any other? Okay.
I think it's personnel, potential litigation and tax matters, right?
Yes, sir. So next item is report from County Commissioner, Commissioner Worsley.
Welcome, Mr. Poyer. I'm excited about you coming on. I'm excited about the new position we accepted tonight. There's a lot of traction and progress going forward. There's been a lot of good communication from citizens. Some of the work that's been done, the bush hogging looks good, it's got people commented on it recently. Some of the patchwork is improved. There's still things to do, we talked earlier, but there's a lot of good feedback coming back, so there's a lot of good things happening. I appreciate what everybody's doing to make that happen.
Thanks, sir. Mr. King?
Pretty much the same thing. I won't play all of them, but it's nice when you have voicemail after voicemail or text messages or emails saying, tell the public works, tell the folks Fairweather County, we sure appreciate seeing things get done. And Barry, I'm getting a lot of those. I'm not making that up. I can play them. It's just like music to my ears when I'm gonna listen to a voicemail. I'm afraid of somebody fixing up on me again. And they're just going, hey, Mr. King, they did a wonderful job out here on Willis Road. They were out here last week and we are so excited about this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I had another one call and you worked on I think Bill Garner Road. Down it was tracked up real bad. I do think you should have put a little bit more gravel on it. Remember, I told you, let's don't do that salt and pepper no more. If we get the road fixed, put gravel on it. But yes, several of those folks called and just wanted to say best it's looked. And in fact, a gentleman came here at the last meeting, said it's the best it's looked in 30 years. So that's what we want to keep moving forward on. And those who haven't got to their road yet, at least they'll start hearing this stuff going on and know we're coming. Barry is going to get there, and our as commissioners, we want to get to that point. And just like Bill was talking about that Ellis Road, we can only do so much, but as long as we're moving forward and making these folks happy, I'll be happy sitting here. So thank you for your staff and tell all them and the rest of all the staff of Fairweather County.
Mr. Clinton?
I just want to share with something received from the IDA meeting, and it's the Southern Economic Development 30th anniversary. They celebrated the legends of the South in for the 1993 to the 2023. And with that, I am so proud to say that our very own Miss Jane Fryer was number 12th on the list. And with that being said, it's great to be able to recognize Miss Jane, and it is an honor to work with her. So with that, thank you very much for all your work in economic development. That's it.
Mr. Collins?
Right, welcome, Mark. I'd like to thank all the department heads. Thank the citizens, and referring to what Mr. King said about he's glad that we moved forward on the roads. I don't know about that. I'm looking here at a thing I took out of the paper and said 40 years ago, it said guidelines for the new county administrator will set in regular session Wednesday, but Meriwether County Commissioners also dealt with unusual citizen complaints about county roadways. So we've been dealing with it for 40 years.
When was Meriwether County created?
Yeah. Well, originally the commission was known as Commission of Roads and Revenues. Right. That was
That's what they did.
Yep. Now we're policy and
Yeah, I'm
budget.
back on that now. I just made a statement today, and roads and bridges has always been our #1 problem and will continue to be our
You were here 50
problem.
years ago, right?
39.
All the classes that we go to get certified as like Roseland and Brian's already is certified county commissioner. Everywhere we go, I mean, we meet people that weekend, you get a good relationship with other counties. But the #1 thing when the guy's up on the stage and goes, your #1 problem, everybody goes, roads. It's the #1 problem everywhere through the whole state. And it's so many people, so much traffic. So yeah. But we gotta still think.
Is that all you had?
Yeah, all I have.
Oh, okay. Well, I will say this, a good friend of mine over a very large county throughout the state of Georgia has a $1.6 billion a year budget. And she told me it's the same issue with 1.6 billion as it is with the 15 million. So there you go. I just do want to thank Mark for coming on board and accepting the position. We're looking forward to it very much so. With what we created tonight with the new position, we are going to extend an offer out to someone that we interviewed and we think will be a good pairing for the two of you. So hopefully he will accept that position once we sign that offer letter and get that to him. But Theron wants to retire. He's been saying it for many, many years. hopefully with the combination of the two of you, I think we'll get to where we need to be. And, hopefully we'll move the county forward a little bit and let him go enjoy his grandkeeping. So thank you very much.
But answer your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We know where you live.
That's right.
All right, next item, county attorney.
I don't think anybody believes Theron wants to retire. We did get the condemnation for Beulah Evans Road filed today. Tried to do it in a time where I'd be up here because it needs to be done in person due to some complicated filing issues. So we did get that filed today. We're expecting an order in the next day or two. Once the order comes out, it'll be recorded in the real property records. We do have to serve the various parties, but the taking should be effective 10 days from the entry of that order and the recording in the real property records. All right, so we can.
Ms. Beulah Evans.
And we are also nearing the completion, I think, of the work there to go and put that package together. Right. So hopefully here for too much longer, we'll have that ready to go. And we also have another on the county line road, Jay.
Right. Because the previous board had voted to pay Beulah Evans, so all we have to do is put the RFP together and go out to bid for once all is in place.
And if you recall, this was the only holdout property we had. Everybody else had voluntarily signed right-of-way deeds.
Anything else?
So what should be the timeline before we?
I'm hoping that we could get the bids back in maybe around the first week of October. What do you think?
For Beulah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on 100%.
So hopefully by the end of this year, those folks living out there should start seeing some activity, something.
I think in October we'll be ready to do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. They've been waiting.
Thank you for all your hard work. You made history in Meriwether County. You're actually the first one that we've had to do this for. We came up, you were very persistent. You came before us, you kept insisting. We created a new outline and policy to get it done. And you stayed in there and you got everything signed. So we thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mike, for backing her up. So it brought the county to a point where we were not at, but now we are. So thank you very much for doing that. You've set a precedence throughout the county. All right. Anything else, Mike?
No, Mr. Gay already stole my thunder on announcing the executive session. So,
all right. So let me go ahead and announce the future meetings and notices. September 4th, 2023 will be closed for Labor Day. September 13th, 2023, regular 9 a.m. meeting. September 26th, 2023, regular 6 p.m. meetings. We do have need for executive session for the purpose of possible litigation, personnel, and tax matters. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for those purposes? So have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are in executive session at 7:27. Have a motion to have a second. Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We're back in regular session. Anything else to come before the board? Hearing none, to have a motion to adjourn. So have a motion to have a second. Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We're adjourned.